All right,
The
hello
broadcast
everybody.
is live.
That's right. Welcome to Retro Fandango, episode number 156. I am Kevin, aka Buried on Mars, and I am here with my co-host Richard, aka
Hello.
Ramvox Comedy. And today's episode, and you know the reason why I do this is so when I put the show together for the audio version, I don't have to search the whole show to figure out what the heck we talked about. I can just listen to this part and say, "Oh, okay."
Right.
Or even go to the outline and find out what we talked about there. I could just listen to this part, and this tells me everything that we talked about, and I could just type it in. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about Beautiful Joe. We're going to be talking about a movie called Life's Too Short, or is it a TV show?
TV show.
TV show, Life's Too Short. Richard has wrapped up season 2 of Enterprise. So we're going to talk about that.
You got to make that absolutely clear from the beginning.
That's right. I watched episode 1 of Star Trek Lower Decks. And then
that's out.
Yeah. And then talked about, or I've been watching Red Letter Media, and they've been talking about Next Generation, so we'll just talk a little bit about that. Ooh. Terminator Dark Fate. Did you end up watching that?
I did.
Okay. We got that to talk about. Modern Times, Mad Max, The Dead Don't Die, and Roxanne. But right now, we're going to look. This should be good for all the people listening to the audio right now. We're going to look at my
Mrs. Q Dog. Hello, Mrs. Q Dog.
Oh, hey, Mrs. Q Dog. Guess what? You're in for a treat because we're going to look at my YouTube. Oh, that's not it.
We'll share the secrets.
Oh, no. Not the outline. Here we go. So Richard wanted to see what my YouTube homepage looks like, what the recommended videos are.
I'm just curious because despite what you say, you may watch something else. So.
Okay, well, I got to caution you a little bit because I do work in the media, and at work, one of my jobs is to collect a lot of YouTube videos for work, and that ends up in. But I haven't had to use my YouTube page, my personal one, in a long time. So nothing should pop up. I wonder if I do that. Okay, yeah, it even makes it better. So there you go. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of AC/DC videos.
Okay, no problem there.
So this is like a cover of Livewire. G-Man Lives. He does like a lot of first-person shooters. So he pops up on my... These are recommended to me, by the way. I'm not necessarily subscribed to everything.
Right. It gives an idea of what you've been watching, though.
Red Letter Media. I have been watching that.
That's understandable, yes.
Oh, Toku Joe's here, and so is Rocket Sauce. Welcome, welcome. Fallout New Vegas.
Porn.
Might be. Who knows? Through work, of course. Let's see. We've got Fallout New Vegas, which I've been playing with the Quick Save Club. So I've been watching a few videos on that.
Okay.
More guitar videos, which I've been into. Been playing my guitar. I did watch a reunion. It was a reunion last year where the Sopranos crew got together, and they were on NBC, the NBC morning show.
The main guy died, right?
Yeah, James Gandolfini, like
long time ago.
Yeah, a few years
ago. At least a while back.
Yeah. So they were on there. They were waxing poetically about him. They said he was like really terrific to work with and all that. Of course, we're going to get to my politics stuff. Yeah. So there's CTV News, the evil competitor. City News. There's my premier, Doug Ford. Oh, this was a pretty sad watch day. I don't think City News is going to show the whole thing, but this was bad. This guy here, some guy, he's like playing with this gun in the first video, and in the second video, there's another guy that's standing over here, and this guy just creeps up behind him and shoots him right in the head.
Ooh,
yeah, it was not. I got to see all the
creepy place do you live in?
Yeah, it wasn't good time.
Oh, all right, Star Trek.
And then of course, Star Trek. I'm watching Star Trek stuff, more Red Letter Media. So there you go. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Nothing crazy in there.
Oh, Ghostbusters 2016. Donald Trump.
Okay, I did watch.
Had to roll down a little bit.
I did watch a video from this guy like a bajillion years ago. There you go. Yeah, collecting albums, The Nerd, more Sopranos.
I'm not seeing any SDC pod show up. Is there something wrong here?
I'm on that channel all the time. I don't need to watch anything. So there you go. That's everything. Yeah, I don't.
Oh
I
my
don't even
God,
want.
where's the
There was
porn? Show the death video.
no. It's. I don't think they'll show it.
Yes, that
They'll
is
show it all.
absolutely Tokyo.
Let me tell you, it's one of those videos that when you see it, it sticks with you, and it's like, I wish I didn't watch that.
Hmm.
Kiss Toku Joe. There's no kiss on my feed. No way. Where's the kiss? I'm gonna have to mute whoever.
Ooh.
No, I don't see anything there.
My tea is extraordinarily bitter this morning.
I'm drinking a coffee because let me tell you, I was driving home and it was all the cottagers that were driving north. I got stuck in the cottage traffic. And this is the worst it's been all summer. Like it just keeps like as people get more and more tired of COVID, it just keeps growing and growing the traffic. And now it's kind of almost getting to where it was pre-COVID, not quite. And I was just stuck in the traffic coming home and the sun was beating down on me and it just zapped me. So I came home and I crashed. I had a nap.
People get bored, man. You're gonna deal with it now.
I know it's stuff's already spiking. The provinces that were like a couple of weeks ahead of us, like opened up a little bit ahead of us, and that they're starting to spike up to levels where they were in May now, because people just get tired of being cooped up.
Yeah, our area we had 0 cases for a while, but then we had like one, and then there was another, and there was a little cluster. So people just moving around, doing stuff.
What was it today?
Staying home.
There was a story today that a bunch of people got COVID from a strip club.
I saw you post about that.
The strip club could fit 550 people in it. My goodness. Who knew? Who knew there were that many horny Canadians?
550 people.
Yeah.
Seems a little tight.
That's what she said. Okay. House cleaning. Quick Save Club is playing Fallout New Vegas, like I mentioned before. It's good times. I'm really enjoying it. It's like playing it for the first time. I played it about 10 years ago. Completely forgot everything, or I rushed through the game. I don't know which, but I'm having good times. CC Prime is playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. I downloaded it. That's as far as I got. RF Gen is playing Elite Beat Agents in Rhythm Heaven. This month's Fandango is Netflix movies. We're watching The Old Guard, Extraction, and In the Tall Grass. And Curtis says we're in for a good time. Not an interesting time, I think is what he said. Interesting time.
Probably a quote interesting, unquote.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah. September, next month, we settled on some movies. We did some behind the scenes discussion. And we're doing Stripes from 1981, Revenge of the Nerds from 1984, and Major League from 1989. We're going with Richard comedies.
Ragtag comedies from the
Is that what
80s.
this is?
Ragtag. Yeah, if we hadn't done Police Academy, that would have fit nicely in there as well.
Yeah, they're definitely rag and
you know,
tag.
your group of losers and misfits.
For those who've been following closely to the show, you may remember that I lost a bet sometime last month to Curtis, and that in that bet, Curtis got to take over the October edition of Fandango.
Just handed it away. There you go.
He gave us a little bit of a selection of topics to choose from. We chose Trolls, and after he gave us a list of movies, and once I got it, I was like, I'm never making a bet with Curtis again. This is fire, man. This is dangerous because he knows exactly what he's doing. If you stick around for the October Fandango, give yourself a sticker. Get ready because we're going to be covering Trolls, Troll 2, The Troll Hunter.
No. Trolls is just the theme.
Oh, Trolls is the theme. Okay,
everything
so
after the semicolon are just
okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, so Trolls 2 is the movie from 1990. Then we have The Troll Hunter from 2010, and then we're going back in time to 1991 for the classic Ernest Scared Stupid.
That's got to be your closer.
I will. I don't believe I've ever seen Ernest Scared Stupid. I definitely
Really?
seen. I don't. I'm not sure. I've definitely seen Goes to Camp. We had that on VHS and used to watch it over and over again,
Mhm.
like a copy of it from TV or something. Then I saw Ernest Saves Christmas in the theater,
Oh, nice.
and then I can't remember what was the next movie after that. Was it?
Probably goes to jail.
That was a lot. That's when he gets electricity, right? In his finger.
Electro Man.
Yeah, that was the last one I saw. So I'm pretty sure I've never seen Scared Stupid.
Eartha Kitt is in it.
The jail one goes to jail, or the Scared Stupid.
Scared Stupid.
Okay.
Rocket Sauce says he's an extra in Major League.
I think we talked about that. He's an extra
Really?
in it. So what is he in the crown? Maybe we're gonna have him on in November, so I guess we could talk about it with him then. He'll be on the show because in November we're doing a 3-pack with Rocket Sauce, coming of age 3-pack. So Rocket Sauce's request was that we do Stand By Me, so that's in. Stand By Me is in. Over on Discord, some people said do Dead Poets Society. I've never seen it. Richard's never seen it. He wasn't even sure what it was.
I've heard the name, and you said Robin Williams is a teacher, so I'm imagining he has a beard.
Right. No, he doesn't.
Maybe one of those jackets with the little leather patches.
You're thinking of Good Will Hunting.
I haven't seen either one of them.
Okay. And now for the third movie, I wrote down a couple of suggestions. I was wondering if Richard had ever seen Superbad. And then
that got vetoed immediately.
He crossed that out right away. So have you ever seen the movie? Have you ever watched Superbad?
No, in fact, I was looking at it when I was just before it switched September around. I was looking for other like teen high school things, but they all end up being coming of age things. So it just got too weird. But no, I saw that one actor I don't like is in it, and it was written by someone I don't like. So I'm not interested.
One actor you don't like and written by someone you don't like.
Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah.
Apparently is one of the writers, and I can't stand anything that guy does. So
so he's got a bit part. He's a cop. He comes in once in a while.
I think he was like the writer or something.
I think, he was one of the writers, and I think it was his parts that he wrote. Because I think what they did was very ad-libbed. So I don't know if that's how. Okay. Well, I haven't seen it in about 10 years, but I remember really enjoying it.
I hear it's really good, but.
And then I just watched Blockers last month, and I thought that was a pretty good movie. But considering you just vetoed Superbad, I can't imagine
I was going to put the strike through on that one as well, but
I can't imagine you'd like Blockers either, even though they're both good movies.
Yeah.
You can't even give it a try.
You know how many comments I saw recently of everybody going off on The Cable Guy?
That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's the same thing. People say, "Oh, it's a great movie." I can't stand them.
All right. Well, we need one more coming of age movie. So there's your mission, internet. Figure one out for us, because anything I suggested gets vetoed.
Well, apparently there are a ton of them. Any teenage comedy from the 80s is apparently a coming of age movie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like there's Pretty in Pink.
Home Alone is a coming of age movie.
Yeah. It sort of is. I mean, Kevin's arc is, he grows up.
Spider-Man.
Nice jump, Spider-Man. What is he? I never know what Steven's talking about. I don't know if having a chat while we're doing this is a good idea. Maybe Joe's on or something.
Yeah. Well, hey, Rocket Sauce, give us like a timestamp. I don't know what you looked like as a child. Give me like a
year. From
no, give me a timestamp in the movie, like roundabout what point, and like, are you on the left, on the right? You're in the crowd.
All right.
Are you in a close up? Is it a wide shot?
Okay.
Quote from the Cable Guy.
That's it. Let's do it.
Show's over, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, happy birthday, Steve.
Oh yeah. We should have had him on. That would have been a good birthday quote or birthday quote. I'm reading.
Birthday
See?
present.
Birthday present.
Congratulations, you won a guest spot.
Nice
Retro
jump, Spider-Man.
Fandango.
Is an amusing quote from Cable Guy. Okay. There you go.
I did enjoy that they went to medieval times. There was one of
Yeah?
those very close to my house when I grew up.
All right. So you want to talk about Beautiful Joe?
Not too much. Basically, just I started playing it again, mostly because I mentioned last time my 360 died on me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was feeling like, oh, now I might not be able to play those good games that I kept for that system. So I started thinking, wow, what are those other good games on other systems that I might not be able to play if the system dies on me? So I popped in Beautiful Joe, and it's still a really fun time. I'm probably a little more than halfway through it. It's tough.
It is a tough game. Yeah.
It's still challenging, but still fun. And I really wish that it would get one of those remasters. It's not going to. Nobody cares about that franchise anymore.
No. Now, why do you want it to get a remaster? You don't have any, unless it's on the PC, I guess, but you don't have a new console to play it on.
Oh, well, like I said, it's not going to happen. But it would be nice to see it, smooth out a little bit. I love the art style and the animation and all that. It's just a little rough around the edges in some parts. So
you can emulate it, and then it'll won't have any rough edges. You get the Dolphin, you get Dolphin emulator, and then you just download.
Is that good enough? Like GameCube emulation?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You sound as if you speak from firsthand experience.
I have. Now I don't know. Like maybe your computer might be not as souped up as mine, so I don't know. Maybe
you not have a souped up computer.
Maybe you'll run into an issue or two. But for me, I've played a few games that way, and it's really nice.
Project Dolphin, that was the original code name for the GameCube, right? That's why it has that there's like something in the code like on the, if you look at the bottom of the console, it's got some things that looks like it says Dolphin or DOLPH. It's something in like the barcode or
I didn't know that
identification number or something in the system. I don't know. Good game. It's fun. I still have never unlocked any character beyond Sylvia.
Yeah,
you can unlock Captain Blue. Oh no! I did unlock Dante in the PS2 version.
I've never played the PS2 version. I'm a GameCube purist.
That's what I'm playing it on now, with a purple controller.
Purple.
Is it? Well, Indigo, I think they called it.
The GameCube games, the prices on them are going up, eh? People are.
Well, that's the next one, right?
Yeah,
it's the next one just to hit that. Got to collect something.
Yep.
You got to charge extra for something.
Yeah.
So many people own Contra now.
Yeah, everyone's has it, so they're moving on to GameCube games.
Yeah.
It's fine for me because I'm selling stuff left, right, and center. It's good. I just sold another $50 game today.
Well, you're selling stuff. Don't you enjoy staring at your library?
No, I don't enjoy looking at stuff that I don't use, don't have. I got too many games.
Of the games you have, what percentage of them are things that you never touch? Say a third, half?
I never touch. Like out of all the games,
you bought it because you were a hardcore game collector with a YouTube channel, and now when you look over, it's like, why did I buy that?
I'll tell you, like, so far this year, I've played a few games on the Xbox One and a few games on the computer, and that's it. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to think. Like since I moved this TV here, I don't know how long ago I did that. All of my retro, well, not all of them, but the ones that I would normally use, retro consoles, are all hooked up to that TV, and none of them are plugged in. I haven't even bothered to plug any of them in. There's the NES, the Xbox, the PS2, and the Wii there. My Super Nintendo, just sitting here on a shelf, rattling around. Then I got the Sega Saturn. I mean, I never use it. I don't know.
So what are you doing with your time?
Selling this stuff. Well, I've been watching movies. I've been listening. I'm doing podcasts like left, right, and center. Like
That's true.
when I sat down, I was like, do I need? I felt like I needed something. Like, do I need some vinyl records or some computer games to talk about or something? No, it's just Fandango. I can just sit here and talk.
You just BS your way through an hour. That's it.
That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I probably use like maybe 5% of all of this. So I think 9. I mean, really, all I'm going to keep are games that I like. If there's a game that I like, I'm going to keep it. All these games that I got that I'm going to play one day, I'm just going to get rid of them because I'm never going to get to them. And anything that was given to me as a gift, I'm going to keep. I'm not going to get rid of anything that was.
You can make some exceptions there.
A little bit, but not too much.
Sometimes you get like, hey, I thought you'd like these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if I don't like it, yeah, it's gone. But no, anything that was given to me that I like, I'm not going to. I'm not going to keep. I'm going to keep all my Coleco stuff and all my Atari 2600 stuff. That's not going anywhere because that's just stuff that I know there'll be one day where I'll be just like, I want to play all those, and I'll just break them out.
Well, you can draw your line. It's when you start up, you're like, hey, I like this, and you start getting that, and then you're like, oh, what else is out there? And you start branching out.
Yeah.
And you realize some of those branches you never should have went out into.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a secret. A while back, I completely got rid of my Dreamcast. Everything for it.
That's what I sold today was a Dreamcast game.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think
it's a tough system to go back to. There's like a couple of really good gems there, but a lot of the Dreamcast stuff that I find really good, they were just arcade games.
Or if you want to play them, they're on other consoles now.
That's true. A lot of them.
And they're generally.
A lot of them do have good ports.
A good time on other consoles, like Code Veronica. I have that as a download on the Xbox 360. I don't think I need to keep that game, especially considering I can get $35 for this stupid thing right now, which is crazy.
Sorry, Rocket Sauce. I'm just not a fan of that. It's that taxi game.
Crazy Taxi.
Crazy Taxi.
You can get that on like almost anything now.
You can get anything everywhere. If you want to tolerate that music.
The newer versions of that game don't have that song.
I've heard, licensing, so they just sacrifice that, and good for them.
So, like the one you get on Steam.
Every time you turn that thing on,
it's a good song. It's just doesn't really fit that game too well.
I could see, it fits the arcade experience. If you're out in the arcade and you're surrounded by all the other noise of the machines and everything, and you're playing that, it'd get you amped up a bit. I'm sitting in my house and it's like, I'll play this for 5 minutes, and this starts blaring out of the speakers. Get out of here.
Poor Rock Sauce. We're gonna lose him. He's not gonna be part of the Power 30. He dissed his Sega too much.
Ooh. Power 29 doesn't have the right ring yet.
But I'm gonna be. I really have to look up my Sega Dreamcast. Why don't we just do that right now? Why the hell not? I don't know that. Where the hell are they? Hold on a sec.
You're gonna go and pull games off your shelf right now. Nice shorts. You do the business on top and shorts on the bottom. It's kind of like the wardrobe version of a mullet, isn't it?
What?
Having a dress shirt and shorts, isn't it like the wardrobe version of a mullet?
Is it?
Business on the top, party on the bottom, or something like that.
Why not? I don't know. It's hot, so I actually at work too. I wear a hoodie over this because I'm freezing in my room.
Hipster.
Well, outside it's hot, so you take off the hoodie and it's like nice and cool. And then when you come in, it's like it's too fucking. Jeez, I should stop. I'm really swearing a lot today.
Oh.
Okay. All right, here we go. So this isn't all the Dreamcast stuff I have. I have some more, but it's already designated to be sold. But here we go. So I got this is Sega Saturn, Wally Wombat. I'm keeping that because Richard gave that to me.
I did give it. I sold mine, so you wouldn't hurt my feelings if you sold that one.
Okay, well there it goes. It's gone. Trick Style. I got this on the PC. See, I don't need that. This actually came with my Dreamcast.
I don't even know what that is.
Test Drive 6. I might have
more than I'm wearing. Oh my god, can't imagine Steven right now.
Oh, Steven's probably Steven's in the nude for sure. Test Drive 6. I might have to keep. That. I'll have to. You know what? I'm gonna play it. South Park's Chef's Love Shack. I've had it for like 10 years.
Rocket Sauce says he might be selling off his GameCube collection, parts of it.
Hey, prices are insane right now. Like, what's it? The Paper Mario 100-year door that's going over for over $100 now.
Go for it, man. Take advantage. I mean, I think we're all at the point we can be honest with ourselves about what we like to play and what we just bought because we're collectors.
That is like one game that I actually played. I actually played that all the way through, and I really enjoyed it. But for $100 you can get for it, and then if you've got an itching to play it, just grab the emulator. And it's not especially that game. It's not like you need some twitch reflexes or anything. It's a turn-based game. So,
well, there are also some games that are really, really good that you just don't necessarily have to go back to.
Yeah. Soul Calibur. Have you ever get into this one?
Part 2 more than anything else. I did have it just because, you see it's like, oh, it's a famous Dreamcast game. The Dreamcast port is better than the arcade version. Blah, blah, blah. You hear all those same statements. So you pick it up and you don't play it.
Yeah. I do love Sega Rally. Sega Rally 2. I don't know. Like that's...
Is stuff even going to make you any money?
Like I don't know. I really should see how much it goes for, but I could sell if I sell it with like the Dreamcast,
Are any of those games that you just see like collecting dust on shelves? What's the Sega Dreamcast selection like in your thrift shops?
You hardly ever see any. Like if you go to a store, it's all eBay. And even at the Barrie Game Exchange, it's totally random whether or not people would bring Dreamcast stuff there. Like if you see it there or not.
It's been a while since I've looked, but you don't normally see too much Dreamcast stuff. But the stuff you do see is like Soul Calibur and I believe Sega Rally, and those there's just a ton of them. So
yeah,
doesn't look like anything special to me.
But there's a ton. There's like different Sega Rally games. Like there's one for the Xbox 360 that I have. Maybe I'll just play that. I don't know. Sega GT. This was their answer to Gran Turismo. I like it, but I don't know if I'll ever play it again. Got Resident Evil 3. This should be worth something. Nemesis. Ready to Rumble. I think this is a common one. Probably see that one all over the place.
I tried to like that game, but
me too, because it's got like a great presentation and everything,
Yeah,
and silly and funny, but
great name, Afro Thunder.
But the fighting is not. It's no Punch Out.
No.
Rayman 2. Probably get rid of that. I think I have this on the PC.
I got one of those Rayman games for free on Epic not too long ago.
Yeah. So this Hydro Thunder. This is one of
I've
the
heard
Hydro
a lot
Thunder.
of good things about that.
It doesn't work. It's an early copy and it won't work. So I actually had
that at the worst possible time. Chris Roberts just showed up. You could have sent it to him like, "Hey, I got a great copy of Hydro Thunder for you."
He probably already has 6 of these. So I kept the game and I put it in a double thing, and because the burnt copy I have works. Kind of stupid, but yeah, apparently like their first batch of Hydro Thunders never worked or whatever. This one I bought Egg. P2.
That's an acronym for something.
What is it? Hold on. Elemental Gimmick Gear. So P2 did a review of this back in the day. So I ended up picking it up because it looked like a Zelda-like game too. And I was going to be in the Zelda-like series and all that. But I haven't played it. Dino Crisis. I messed around with this for a bit. It's like a Resident Evil ripoff with dinosaurs. Here's your favorite game. Crazy Taxi.
Oh boy.
But you can get that anywhere. You don't need that on the Dreamcast. And then Choo Choo Rocket,
Choo choo.
which is okay. I played it a little bit. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
meant to be a multiplayer game that you hook
Yeah,
up your
that's another one of those
Dreamcast.
games I bought, and then you play it once and realize I won't play this garbage.
No, it's like yeah. So I think I'm gonna get rid of all those. Sell.
That's not too much, though. You must still have a lot on the shelf.
That's just the Dreamcast games. That's it.
I mean, you must still have a lot more Dreamcast games on your shelf.
No, that's it.
No?
That's my whole collection.
That's
that I
everything.
There are a few that I have for sale. I can't remember what's in there. But yeah, I don't have very many Dreamcast games. They're hard to come by. Like you can't really find them easily as you can other systems.
The only one that I kind of wish I had kept now is I had a copy of Capcom versus SNK 2 on that. And I sold it assuming that I can just buy the PS2 version because I used to have that. And then, like, anytime I looked, I can't find the PS2 version anymore. It's like, what's up with that? It suddenly got popular.
Wow. That's too bad. Mrs. Q-Doc says their early Hydro Thunder gives them trouble too. Yeah, you got to burn a copy and it's got to be a CD. You got to use a CD, not a DVD. Burn a CD copy of it and then it'll work. Or you could just play the Hydro Thunder that came out on the Xbox 360, PC. I don't know, a bunch of things. It's pretty darn good.
Well, it is the best fighting game. I agree. I think that is one of the best.
Which one? Marvel versus Capcom?
No, Capcom versus SNK 2.
Oh.
I think there was also SNK. Like it has a different name on. I think it's on the GameCube. It has a slightly different name, but Capcom and SNK characters all put together.
Yeah.
The only downside to it is SNK at the time did a really nice job updating their graphics and creating like new images for all their characters, but Capcom took pre-existing ones from other games, and there's a couple of them that just look absolutely terrible. Like Morrigan from the Darkstalkers game. Her sprite looks way out of place in that game. But still a very fun game.
All right. Let's talk movies.
Enough of that video game nonsense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that bored everybody. Like, look at the comments. Everyone's like, move on. Talk about movies and TV.
We do have a lot of comments today. Look at us.
No, well,
Oh my god.
They're video game fanatics.
I guess. What's with these people?
All right, let's move on. Let's go.
Buy any more Mario Brothers cartridges recently?
That was...
Flood of comments.
Did you see Chris Roberts got featured in was it Fox, I think? Fox it's like a website VOX. I think it was them for his, you know how he collects all those Super Mario Brothers carts, Mario Brother Duck Hunt carts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they did a little feature on him and how crazy he is for collecting.
Oh, he's gonna be hitting mainstream news one of these days.
Well, Vice is sort of mainstream-ish. At least it is here. A little bit. All right, what's this movie, Life's Too Short, that you watched?
That is
Or
not a
TV
movie.
show?
It is a TV show from, I guess it's almost 10 years old now. It's one of those Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant shows that stars Warwick Davis.
Oh,
From Willow.
yeah, okay, I watched that. Was that what it's called? Life's Too
A
Short?
while back. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I had known about it for a while, and I had seen a few clips here and there, but I finally watched through the series, and it's pretty fun. There's a couple of really good laughs in there. I think Warwick Davis does an excellent job.
Yeah, he was great
in that show. Very self-deprecating humor. It's a fictionalized version of himself, and just talks about his life and he's having all these problems and getting divorced, and he owes all this money, and he's just having a tough time finding work as an actor. So really funny and everything, but at the same time very samey. to watch those. You know, if you've seen like The Office, and then you watch this, it's like that's the exact same character I just
Style.
watched. Yeah, it's all the same cues of the character with a big heart, big ego, always getting his foot caught in his mouth or whatever the expression is, and I don't know. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
It's only like one season, so.
Is that all? It just lasted the one season?
As far as I know, it was. I think it was like they did like 7 episodes, and then took a break, and then realized the show's getting canceled, or they decided to end it, or whatever, and then they just did one final
To wrap it up.
episode, and I haven't seen that one, but everything up until then was very entertaining.
I remember the I don't want to say shocking part of it, but like the part of the comedy was that he's this small guy, and you expect most people to be very like wanting to accommodate him in that, you know, to help him out and stuff. But well, for the most part, people are just nasty to him.
People are really nasty. They did not hold back with the comedy, and that's what you know, kind of makes it entertaining. Is they're willing to take risks, and he's willing to make fun of himself.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of cheap shots.
Yeah.
A lot of them. Like they really go out of their way to make people really nasty to him, and make fun of his height, and treat him as an it at times. And
and they're only half-hour episodes, right? Like 20 minutes.
Yeah. So you can breeze through that in, you know, 1 or 2 days if you just wanted to run right through it. But very funny. I would really like to see Warwick Davis do more comedy. I don't know what he's been up to outside of, you know, his little. He basically always has little cameo things. He'll be in the Harry Potter movies for one scene,
right?
You know.
Well, isn't there a rumor that they're bringing Willow back or something?
You got me. Okay. Neither of them is doing anything else.
Nobody from that movie is doing anything right now. I think even Billy Crystal's sitting at home staring at the
Billy Crystal.
Yeah, wasn't he in Willow?
No. You might be thinking of
Princess Bride.
Princess Bride. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Kevin Pollak's not doing anything right now. How's that? He had a show on YouTube for a little while.
Okay.
That's about it. Okay. Enterprise Season 2. You're flying through that show.
Oh, right. Yes.
My goodness.
I did my best. Well, I'm on summer break right now.
Right.
So I've got 3 weeks of no morning classes. So I got a little extra time. Not much to report though. I just finished the final episode of season 2 last night, and I'll say this: all the problems that were in the first season are still there. Characters are not very interesting, and the writing is very weak, and they fall on the same crutches over and over again. So that one thing, like that's an order, that one line of dialogue that's always in there. It's like almost every episode, you know, it's coming. A couple other things they keep leaning on are storylines about being abducted, kidnapped, held prisoner, held for ransom. It's like every 2 or 3 episodes, the captain is bound and contained somewhere. Which area of sitting from that he's not a fan.
You just got to watch every episode.
I'm not saying I'm not a fan. I'm saying when I was younger, I didn't get it. I wasn't interested in the show. It didn't catch me. And I'm going back to see if there's something I missed. And I found that there are a lot of good ideas in this show, but none of them are executed all that well. There's always something that stands in the way. So there are entertaining bits. There are a lot of good ideas, and there's a lot of neat visuals. Again, I'm a fan of the ship design, even though on the interior it's to the show's detriment because it's very bland. Everything is very baseline, like silver and small. Everything's very cramped in that ship.
Well, even the episode I watched, I remember I appreciated that. I appreciated because that was a cool detail that they put in the show because Next Generation, you were on the Galaxy class Enterprise,
Yeah.
which was big and spacious, and people like had room for a big, huge bar and holodecks and all sorts of craziness. You could stretch out on that luxury liner. Whereas this was like early space travel, so it has a very
Right.
cramped feel. Like they're talking, like the captain is talking to the doctor in his ready room, and there's like a big beam and
Yeah, it's this curved beam. He's always got to
yeah,
duck his head
look
under.
around. I wonder
And
how many times he hit his head on that thing. Like
yeah,
maybe
and at
countless.
first I liked that for the same reasons, because you see like their uniform and everything. They were putting that bridge between like NASA real life stuff
Yeah.
and submarines, battleships and things, and Star Trek. So there's kind of that mixed hybrid. But while it makes sense logically, it's not very interesting visually. So you're used to Star Trek with bright colors and big spaces and things, and if they tried to make it a little more realistic. Yeah, Stephen, very shippy. So a lot of interesting ideas. The one episode I'll recommend, and this is not as strong a recommendation as the last one, so if you don't watch it, no hard feelings. I think. Oh, I didn't write it down. I think it's episode 22. It's somewhere in the early 20s. It's called the co something
The something early
cogenitor, the cogenitor.
Cogenitor.
And this episode was interesting because it started out happy. Like most shows, it's like, oh no, we encountered another species. Oh, things took a turn for the worse. Oh, there was something they weren't telling us. Here, they're observing this sun or something, and they encounter another species that is technologically superior to them, like way superior. And they make communications with them, and they're like, "Hey, you're here to study this thing too? Great! And why don't we dock? Why don't we talk?" And they're really nice, open, friendly vessel of people that are also on a exploratory mission. So they're like, hey, great. They're getting along. They're meeting the other crew. Stop distracting me, Stephen, with your comments.
Just close that chat.
So they're getting along, and the episode then gets into the two crews mixing, and of course there's got to be some little snafu, some little misunderstanding between cultures, and it's a really good idea, and it's executed a little clunky, but it's the best idea that I've seen in season 2, where there's somebody from Earth is not understanding how another culture works and tries to intervene and causes some trouble. But by the end of it, the ending is really odd. It's a very odd choice on how to end that episode. And I expected it to carry over because the way it ends, it's something that's kind of big and emotional and life-changing for one character. But you get to the next episode, and it's Borg. They encounter the Borg, and then
the Borg?
They must have got a memo saying, look, ratings are down. Pull some of that Borg garbage out of storage and make a Borg episode.
But that makes no sense.
Shoot the Borg with super phasers,
boy.
Oh no, it made sense because they tied it into the First Contact movie, where the Borg did come to Earth,
right,
just before they made First Contact,
right.
And I guess some Borg were left over or something. But this is where the show, after that episode, it seemed like it was a lot of pick up the pace. We got to get ratings. Klingons are back. The Borg, lots of. There was another scene in the decon gel where T'Pol's experiencing the Pon Farr and everything. So it's like getting all into the rating stuff. I will say this though: the end of season 2, they got an idea going into season 3 that seems kind of interesting. Now, if they handle it nicely, it it gives them room for a lot of interesting storylines. They're entering this expanse where apparently the laws of physics don't apply. It's basically a space Bermuda Triangle. And they've been warned by the Vulcans, like, don't go in there, crazy stuff happens. So they're about to go in there, and that's where it leaves off on season 2. It's like they're just entering this thing. So it could give them leeway to create completely crazy storylines that have nothing to do with actual time and space. And that could be interesting, but because the show got canceled 2 years later, I'm guessing they didn't do much with it. It probably just reverts back to, look, there's new crazy aliens, and they took the captain hostage, and now he's got to break free, and have
Was
a
it on
fight.
for 3 or 4 seasons?
I believe 4.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
There is one season where they do a full arc, right? Like the whole season is just one arc.
Maybe that's this coming one,
Yeah.
because it looks like they're setting up something larger, because they had this thing going on with the temporal Cold War, but in season 2 they basically mentioned it in the first episode, did a whole bunch of one-offs, and then mentioned it in the last episode. And it's like mixing with the Klingons and the Suliban, and I don't know. I'm not anticipating much, but if I make my way through this, that's leading me right into the original series, and then I'm just going to keep on going and see how much of this chronologically I can keep up with.
I've been itching to watch the original series.
Hey, give me a few more weeks of Enterprise, and can start up TOS.
It was funny. We was it last week or I don't know. I
update
finished
the intro song. Yeah, I've been wondering about that.
Oh, okay. Well, the first and second season intro song sucked.
I like it, and I believe T'Pol gets a haircut. I've seen pictures of her with a non-traditional Vulcan haircut.
Well, there you go. Man,
got to check the latest style.
There you go. That's like, don't improve the writing or anything like that. Just change the haircut.
Give her a haircut.
I mean, that's what Voyager was, right? They never made the show better. They just kept giving Janeway a different haircut, and hopefully that was going to win people over.
Janeway.
Yeah.
They wrote her out once 7 and 9 came in.
7 and 9 came in, yeah. 6 and 9. Well, funny enough, I was just finished recording some podcast. Can't remember which one it was last week. And I was sitting at the TV. Sarah was watching something. I was like, man, I'd really like to watch some Star Trek right now. And it was 9:30 at night. And I'm just looking through the guide. And there, that was just starting, was Star Trek Lower Decks. Star Trek Lower Decks. I said, what the heck?
Let me, before you start talking about this, let me just give my opinion. A few weeks back, whatever it was, I saw people on Twitter going, oh, the trailer, and retweeting trailer for this coming out, trailer for this. And I saw people retweeting that. Didn't even check the trailer. I was like, this is going to be complete garbage. So I have just ignored it. Any of this new Trek that comes out now.
Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. It is complete garbage. It was just these characters talking a mile a minute, like just really fast, not saying anything clever, not saying anything funny, just giving the illusion that something's happening because they're all talking really, really fast. And it's all very cliched and tropey of just latest television, like the female, there's the male main protagonist. He's dumb. He can't do anything right. He's got this female friend who's smart and bright and knows everything. And I don't know. It was just, and they're all just obnoxious. They're all just obnoxious to each other. They're all yelling at each other and screaming. And so I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, old man, this isn't your Star Trek. This isn't for you. This is for the kids who like Rick and Morty. I haven't seen Rick and Morty. I hear good things. But this is what it's for. It's for Rick and Morty, and it's for these kids. It's to get them into Star Trek so they'll watch this and start liking Star Trek, and maybe they'll check out the other shows.
No. It's not so they will start liking Star Trek. It's so that they will be able to continue using the Star Trek name and just make something.
Well, I'm thinking like, maybe like, they're watching this and maybe they'll check out the other stuff and like that'll keep, the old Star Treks alive or whatever, right?
Kids watch it at their COVID parties.
Okay, stop. Okay, turning off chat now. Okay, that's it. You don't have to pay attention. Okay, so, and that's what I'm saying to myself, right? But then I think to myself, what the hell is wrong with introducing kids to Star Trek: The Next Generation now? That's what I watched when I was 10 years old. I was watching it. It wasn't too much over my head where I couldn't like understand. Actually, I was a little bit older, but I was like, this cartoon is targeted to like 14-year-olds or whatever. That's how old I was when I started getting into Star Trek, and it was fine. Like that was like, so and how would like a crazy, stupid, dumb cartoon like this? How would, if you're trying to get people to watch more Star Trek and trying to get them into the other stuff, like this show doesn't translate well. It's not like it doesn't connect. Like I could see like a kid liking this cartoon and then trying the old Star Trek and saying, well, that's nothing like the cartoon. I don't like this. If you like that show, I don't think you're going to like, the older Star Trek. Or so, it just seems like CBS, they are, get ready for a video game analogy, people, you video game nuts. What CBS is doing with Star Trek right now, they are playing Contra with the scattergun. They're just running there and shooting in every direction and hoping to hit something. Nobody needs to aim. And I think that's a problem with TV today. They give them too much money, and say, start this project, start that project, start this project. And hopefully we'll throw something at the wall and it'll stick, So they're just like, they're not aiming, where before, you only had your one shot with Star Trek. So you could only use like the pea shooter gun in Contra. And you had to be precise and aim and have to think about where you were going to shoot and how you were going to make a show and how it's going to, instead of this, let's just throw it everywhere and hopefully something sticks. Hopefully. So I don't know if the show will be a success or not, but man, I'm surprised I sat through the whole episode. It was more like I was in a fog while I was watching it because I just could not believe what I was seeing. It was just so terrible. But I don't know. Maybe it's for somebody out there.
I just hope all of these video game fanatics pick up on the fact that you said scattergun and not spread gun.
Whatever the hell it is. It's just stupid Contra.
Should be a shotgun. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, sure. Shotgun. I was trying to make a Contra analogy. Yeah. Contra's not that great of a game anyways.
Oh, it was really good.
It's okay.
It was really good.
It's okay.
It's really good.
It's like,
you just can't beat it, huh?
I did. I actually did beat it.
Yeah.
I played through it. And it was Chris Roberts who gave me a tip. He said you could use that Contra code, and then you got continues with the Contra code. Like you can still use continues. After you run out of lives, you can still play it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I beat it. I probably used 200 lives or whatever. I got through it.
Good game.
It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I think it's going to be one that I might get rid of. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe you get some dollars for it if you do.
Anyways, it's not a good show.
It's. I mean, you got to understand also. They're using the Star Trek name, but this show isn't for young kids who want to get into Star Trek. This is just aimed at the young masses, and it's aimed at those kids that are constantly going through their phone, like going through 15 different applications in a period of 3 minutes, where they're just constantly something new, something different, fast.
Yeah.
So like the style of the show of just moving and constantly talking and saying something. I don't think a lot of younger kids, like the masses, the general mass, has the patience to sit down and watch like a television show.
Yeah.
I imagine this one is just a 30-minute show.
Yep.
Yeah. Where it's just like, content, fast.
It was just nonstop.
Yeah. Kids don't care about Star Trek. Exactly.
No. Well, I don't know.
They just want to see something in front of them.
I don't know if anyone, like, if enough people care about Star Trek to, because you say to yourself, well, why don't they just make some old Star Trek, make it like it was? And, the Orville's out there. It wasn't critically acclaimed, but people love it. I love it. I think it's a great show, and it got canceled again for the second time. It got pushed over to streaming only, I think, and now it's done. They're going to do one more season, and that's it. So I don't know. Maybe there's just that kind of television is just done. It's over with. It's over, John.
I'm not really surprised about this, but it is very telling. We had so many different people making comments at the top of the show.
That's not surprising.
And like, if you go back and look through it, at the exact point we stopped talking about games,
yeah.
Like it's down to just Steven now.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Everyone else is ignoring us now. We're background noise.
Anyways, exactly. They're Rick and Mortying their way into some other podcast or some other thing.
Yep. So anyways, on my backlog list for the longest time, Red Letter Media did this thing on their top 5 Star Trek The Next Generation
I saw the first half.
Well, it was like an hour. I saw this thing. It was an hour long. I'm like, I'll get to it when I get back to work. I got back to work, and so I put it on in the background. I'm watching this thing, and then when I got to, like, there was about 15 minutes left, and they were only I think they only did 2 episodes. I'm like, man, there's no way they're going to wrap this thing up. And sure enough, there was another hour after it. And the second episode, like, as soon as I stopped, like the first episode, like the second episode popped up in my feed. They had just posted it. So I watched the second one, and it was really good. I imagine if you watched the first half, imagine you saw the part where they went through, like, because they, to make their list, they, really looked at all the episodes and that, and they like listed all like the different types of Star Trek The Next Generation episodes you got.
Right. Yes.
And yeah, they got up to like 9, and then they all started, like, there was episodes that just would bleed together, like, like this one's kind of a half this one and half that one, that, and then they just stopped. And then when they went to list the different types of episodes of Discovery, it was just violence. That's it. That's what you get with Discovery is violence.
Hey, we got more comments back. Basically, we told people to shut up, so.
Or don't listen to us. Like, what's wrong with you? Orville got, this is Toku Joe says Orville wanted to be like Star Trek so much it got canceled. Because Star Trek got canceled. After 3 years too. It's very good. Very good observation. Okay, how about this? People? I watched last week, I watched Terminator Dark Fate, and I forgot to talk about it. But after we stopped broadcasting, I said, hey, Richard, I forgot to talk about Terminator Dark Fate. Why don't you watch it? And we could talk about it this week. So Richard did watch it.
And I said, oh, boy.
Yeah. So we both watched Terminator Dark Fate, the movie that everyone has forgotten about. They forget that there was a Terminator movie made last year. Including
budget Terminator with Schwarzenegger and Hamilton.
So I was on Amazon Prime. I was looking for 70s sci-fi for us to watch, and there was not a lot of choice there. But when I typed in sci-fi, Dark Fate came on, and I yelled up to Sarah, who was upstairs. I said, "Hey, do you want to watch the latest Terminator movie tonight?" And she said, "Genesis?" And I said, "Nope, the latest one."
You mean the latest, let's try this again.
Yeah. No, Dark Fate. So I watched it. And like I said to Richard last week off there, it's not terrible. It's not a bad movie. It's just okay. I thought it was an okay movie. And the biggest thing that was missing from it, I think, like those first 2 Terminator movies, one thing that James Cameron did very well is he made you feel like as if the Terminator was constantly chasing their prey, their target. Like in the first movie, the Terminator's always looking for Linda Hamilton, going to get her. Every time he sees her, he's advancing towards her. I'm going to get you, kind of thing. And then same thing with Terminator 2. Every time he sees John Connor, the liquid metal guy, he's running after John Connor. He's like, because his mission is to kill. Whereas in this movie, I mean, I don't. The other thing too is the Terminator is supposed to blend in with the crowd. That's part of his thing, right? He's supposed to be in disguise. First one, he's disguised as a human. The second one, could be disguised as almost anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one, it's just the Terminator can split into two. You got a liquid metal Terminator over regular Terminator skeleton, and the regular Terminator skeleton just goes around not hiding from anything. It's like nobody like, hey, there's like a weird robot trying to kill people over there. Maybe we should, like, I don't know, call the National Guard or something. Somebody come help us out. Anyways, I felt like as if the Terminator in this movie was just doing too much aerobatics, like just like jumping around and stuff. And then there was a point where he was like in an airplane and he's just like waiting for some reason when he should be just like, there they are. Let me fly the airplane right into them. And he does do that eventually after about 10 minutes. He finally gets there. But anyways, without that, I didn't think it was that great of a movie. What'd you think, Richard?
I hear a lot of comments, and no, there is no cicada in here, Stephen. They are loud, though. I hear a lot of comments saying it's the best movie since Terminator 2, but that's not saying much.
Right.
And I would like to disagree with that.
Okay.
I thought there were parts of the movie that were well done. There were some fun action scenes. There was a better attempt at character in some of these. Yes, exactly. It needed more cool shotgun reloads. Remember that scene at the end of Terminator 2 when Sarah Connor's all beat up and she's got the shotgun one hand? So many great moments in Terminator 2. So many like individual moments you can pick out. That was so awesome. That was so awesome. Great characters, great action, total package. So let's play the adjective game here. Terminator 3 comes out a few years after Terminator 2. And I'd say that one was kind of disappointing, right? Just Terminator 1 probably had a so-so reaction, maybe not on a lot of people's radar. Terminator 2 comes out, huge blockbuster.
Huge success, yeah.
Terminator 3, everyone's excited, and that wasn't so good.
It's okay, but not great.
A few years later go by, a few years more, and we got Christian Bale Terminator, which probably like, all right, let's take it in a different direction. Well, let's try something new. But ultimately, like, I can't even remember why I didn't like that movie. It was just boring.
I don't remember either. I remember it
because really, since even from Terminator 2, every Terminator sequel has been unnecessary because it kind of says like, well, didn't you stop it in the last movie? And then that's like the same thing every single time.
Right.
But 2 was a lot of fun, so you forgive it. Then you get to Genesis, and that was like, what is going on in this? It's just so convoluted and wacky. And then this one comes out and tries to be a direct sequel to Terminator 2, ignoring everything that happened in the others. Because I believe in Terminator 3, Sarah Connor died and John Connor kept going.
Maybe.
There's that scene where he's like got the casket full of guns. I'm pretty sure they pulled that out of Sarah Connor's tomb.
Okay.
Like she had left like a bunch of stuff for him. Anyway, so I watched this one and I heard it's the best one of all the, their attempts after Terminator 2. And I would say Terminator 3 is better than this.
Yeah, I agree.
The biggest part for me is, even though there was some fun action and some fun scenes, as silly and stupid as Terminator 3 was, I found this one to be the most insulting. Because in Terminator 1 and 2, we got Sarah Connor, and she was a great character. She was a really strong, well-developed, well-portrayed character. And she was like, she jumped top tier, albeit it's kind of a short list just because of the way attitudes were, of like female action heroes for movies.
In the second movie, I think in the first movie she was
she's the damsel in distress,
right?
And she kind of, by the end of it, she gets her moment.
But it's the end of that movie is a bit of like a horror film ending.
Right. So in the second film, she really becomes that character. So,
Yeah.
it's like
Well, that was
her
the
and
cool
Ellen
thing.
Ripley.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Exactly.
like, she became a really, really strong, important character. In this version, they bring her back and she's kind of jaded and narrow-minded, and it's something that happens a lot with modern day reboots and sequels and all that. They take a movie and they reboot it, basically telling the same story, except they try to interject more gender equality or racial equality. And in this movie, it seems like there was this subtext
Oh,
that was bothering me of Sarah Connor was only the woman in the middle in those early movies. She needed the male character to come save her. She had to protect the male character who would become a leader. So in this new one, there's all that coming in. It's like they have to make sure the person who comes to protect her is a woman. The person that they're supposed to protect is a woman. She's going to be the new leader. She's going to be the thing. And what they do is they completely undermine the character that Sarah Connor was in Terminator 2.
hmm.
And they even give her like nasty lines in this one. It's like, you're not important. Only your womb is important. And they're creating this kind of subtext of, oh, those old Terminator movies, it was too male dominated. So
Well,
that was really bothering me when I watched this
well, they
one.
kind of made her stupid too, because
They did.
she immediately assumes that she's going to be the mother that's going to produce the next leader of this resistance. And I'm like, I'm even sitting there thinking, well, how
Yeah,
does
as
she know
soon
it's
as
going to
they
be a kid? It could be her. It could be her
Yeah,
herself.
that was immediately when they say it. It's the way they do in movies where somebody says something, and if you're
Right.
paying attention, you're like, okay, they didn't say it clearly, so obviously there's
Right.
going to be a twist there. You know
Right.
what's coming.
Yeah.
And that's just sloppy writing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I felt like it was just there. Again, there were some fun
It,
moments, but the logic isn't there.
yeah.
The first scene with her, Terminator on the bridge. She knocks the Terminator off the bridge. She goes down to finish it off
They take
because she hunts Terminators. Oh, they took my car.
yeah.
Guess I'll ignore this Terminator and just go follow them. It's like really stupid decisions that
Well, and
if
it also I found the movie a little bit like smug too, like you so this because this woman is Latino or Latina, I should say. Latino is
get it
male,
right.
Latina is female. So she's a Latina. That means therefore like she can't, you as a white person watching this movie is not going to come to the conclusion that she is the leader of the resistance. And
No.
the movie kind of like makes it feel like as if, well, you're stupid just for thinking that it could only be an American. I was sitting there watching this movie and I'm like, I didn't think that at all. So why are you calling me dumb, movie, for like saying that I think things that
I
I
think
don't
if they
think.
were going to do that, they could have at least executed it a little better, because by the time they get to the revelation that she's the commander in chief, she still looks like she's 17 years old,
Yeah,
At the
yeah,
end, they just give her a different haircut.
yep, yeah,
And her whole thing is, we shouldn't be fighting each other. We should be fighting them. Oh, here's our leader. Congratulations. You brought the
yeah,
world together.
yeah. She knows her shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that like it just didn't have me on the edge of my seat. And
No.
the one thing I look forward to in the first two Terminator movies is that glimpse in the future where you see what's going on in the future, like how crazy it is, and it kind of like hits home like how important what they're doing in present time is. And every time they went into the future in this movie, I was like, zone out time. That's time to go look at my phone, see what's happening, because I was just bored of
Well,
whatever
it's
was
it's
happening
not
in the
them in the future is them in a abandoned building.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was it. Like where's them like fighting the Terminators in the future and having to scan to see if they're real or if they're a real person or not. Like there's just none of
Yeah.
that. And I'm like,
Yeah, it was kind of a boring mess with its own problems. So, yeah, I'd say Terminator 3 is probably more entertaining. I'd certainly watch that one before I watch this one again.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. You're right. But I did find um a lot of the action scenes were, fairly well done. If there's one thing
Some
they
were
could
good.
do today, is make some slap together some decent action stuff. But I think that's mostly just because technology has gotten better and it's easier for them to do it than
Yeah.
in
One
the
thing
past.
I did enjoy is the Grace, the enhanced human who goes back. She's obnoxious at times when she's, talking about, I'm a enhanced cyborg from the future and blah, blah,
Mhm.
blah. And the way she talks to Linda
Spoiler alert.
Hamilton. Yeah, it's a main part of the movie. There's a fight early on the freeway when they encounter the first Terminator. And my favorite scene in the whole movie, action scene, is she hits the Terminator in the face with the toolbox.
Mhm.
I just thought that was really entertaining. I wish, they had more beats like that.
Yeah.
But it was nice because she wasn't so overpowered.
Yeah.
It seemed like the way she was moving around, it was like, okay, she's moving just fast enough, just quick enough, doing some moves that are just unbelievable enough to where it's like, okay, I could buy that. She's not so overpowered.
She was a bit of a MacGuffin though, like with that super serum that she needed. She needed some sort of mix or whatever to keep her going.
Yeah,
And they would
she was
have it
taking.
sometimes and not have it other times, depending on what the
Yeah,
plot
that
needed.
at the end of the movie, like
Yeah.
Arnold just shows up. He's like, "I found this, you dropped it," and oh, thanks, because I need that to continue the plot.
Yeah. Toku Joe says Terminator Dark Fate follows the Force Awakens formula. Play the greatest hits, rename the factions, and even though they're basically the same, have the old actors but establish the newbies. Yeah, can't argue with that. That's pretty much.
It's all the same stuff again. You got to lure that Terminator to some sort of factory where we can take advantage of its weakness.
I couldn't even believe too, like he's driving a big semi truck and chasing them, and they grab I've watched a few movies lately, so they grab an old truck in this one too, right? Like one of those trucks with the big cab on the back, just like they did in the second movie.
Could
or
be.
am I mixing up movies? I might be mixing up movies.
I'm very blurred on this movie. It's only been a few days since I've seen it, but that's the thing. There's nothing that latches onto you.
Well, at least give me that sense of like when the Terminator sees his target, he's going to go after it and not be messing around with other stupid things. Like I think that's one of the great things that Terminator 2 did is that anytime the liquid Terminator was, doing his shape shifting stuff and all that, he was on the hunt trying to find John Connor, right? He didn't know where John Connor was, right? So he would like disguise himself as the floor, and wait for someone to come by. And then it's like, now I can disguise myself as the security guard and get further into the building and all that. So all that stuff was shown to you and presented to you. He wasn't constantly chasing it, but that stuff was because he didn't know where John Connor was. Once he found out where John Connor was, that's when he would focus on him. And in this movie, it was like, okay, I know where they are. They're at the, they're going to be coming through the border. I know where they're going to be coming. But let me dick around with all this, border agents and all this stuff. When meanwhile, he can just go get them. Like go kill them, like you're supposed to be chasing them instead of just wasting your time with.
Yeah, especially if he has the advantage of the decoy, if he's got the metal Terminator.
Yeah.
Just send that guy over there and you disguise yourself as part of the crowd. And then when they run towards you, you start stabbing.
Or shoot or whatever, Yeah.
I was surprised at the beginning when they had that flashback scene of young Sarah Connor and Edward Furlong.
Yeah.
Which I was unsure, like if that was old footage or if that was like modern day effects. Because
man.
That was crazy.
I think that is the difference between like how that de-aging effect is from a major studio and it's only a few minutes versus Netflix trying to do it for 3 hours with The Irishman. I think that's the results you get. You can just do an amazing thing in a very short window, but if you try to stretch it out in 3 hours, then it kind of gets a little wonky.
Yeah, it looked like I'm watching it and I was really like, was this like an alternate ending or something to it? But as soon as you see the Terminator show up, you're like, oh, that's not Arnold.
Right.
That's pretty clearly just the guy in makeup. But Edward Furlong looked like Edward Furlong.
Yeah, it was crazy. I don't know, like, it sounded like him too, right? It didn't sound like an older.
I don't think he said anything.
Okay.
But you know that looks straight out of T2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough of that movie.
We're running long here.
Yeah. Waste your time if you want. You just touch on it. There's really nothing. Well, what Mad Max? You watched Mad Max? Like
I watched the first Mad Max. I had never seen them before, and boy, is that movie paced oddly. That's an odd one. It seems like they wait until the last 20 minutes to get to what is normally the catalyst that starts the movie. It's like,
yeah, it's a low budget Australian flick, right?
Yeah, and there's some good ideas there. So I hear that the Road Warrior is the good one.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing that, and then I'm guessing Thunderdome takes a little bit of a dip.
Thunderdome has a great 40 minutes, like first 40 minutes, and you're like, wow, everyone's crazy. This movie's actually pretty decent. And then it kind of turns into Goonies, and it doesn't make too much sense.
Okay. I'm going to make my way through them.
Yeah. I mean, go for it. That's what I did this year. Yeah.
I also watched Modern Times, which is one of those old Charlie Chaplin movies. I wanted something refreshing after Terminator Dark Fate. So I watched an old silent film. And Charlie Chaplin is a great performer. Gives you a lot to look at. I think I still prefer the shorts for that sort of film, though.
Oh, like a full movie?
A feature-length silent film. It's basically just getting from set piece to set piece. It's like, okay, now we're in a factory, do something crazy here. Now we're here, do something there. So a lot of fun stuff. But give me a Three Stooges short any day.
I still haven't seen any Charlie Chaplin. Never watched a Charlie Chaplin movie.
It's good.
I've never even seen the movie like the movie Chaplin. That's about Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, the Robert Downey Jr. one?
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
I haven't seen that either. But he does do that silly walk.
That's good. So I watched a zombie movie for some reason. It had Bill Murray in it and Adam Driver, and it promised that to me promised comedy right there. And it sort of is a comedy, but it's a meta comedy. So it's called The Dead Don't Die, and watched it last night. I wasn't impressed. Like, I don't know. The zombies come.
What year is
this? A small town. Last year. It was last year. Zombies come in, attack the small town. Bill Murray and Adam Driver are cops in the small town, and they have like quirky conversations. I guess kind of like a Twin Peaks sort of way.
Okay, I remember seeing something on this.
It's like, like Bill Murray and Adam Driver sitting in the car, and Adam Driver's like, "Yeah, this isn't going to end very well." Bill Murray's like, "What do you mean by that?" Adam Driver's like, "Well, I read the script." And Bill Murray's like, "Jim showed you the script?" And Jim is the director of this movie. He's like, "Yeah." Well, Jim didn't show me the script, and that's the conversation they're having. I'm like,
"Oh, this is another Jim Jarmusch movie."
Yeah, who is that? I don't know who that is.
Hey, he's he only does low budget stuff. He's a pretty big name in the low budget community. He had a couple of ones that were hits. If you talk to, I heard his name a lot when I was in college. He was like, all the film teachers. Oh, Jim Jarmusch doesn't do that Hollywood stuff.
Dead Don't Die, Bill, is on Crave, the Crave channels. I got it. I got everything. You know what I mean? Know what I'm saying? And Tokujo says, Dead Don't Die made me sleepy. I hung in till the end. I really wanted to see where it was going. It had like Steve Buscemi in it and Glover, Danny Glover.
Danny Glover?
Yeah.
Oh, what's he doing?
There were some big names in it, I don't know. I like the look of it too. Like they had like this old, like they had this really old car was a old '68 Pontiac Le Mans. It looked really cool.
Have you seen The End of the World yet?
Is that the Seth Rogen movie?
No, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm sorry, not The End of the World. World's End. The one with
No.
Shaun of the Dead people. There was
Oh,
Shaun of the
no.
Dead, Hot Fuzz,
Right.
World's
No, I
End.
haven't seen it yet. No.
You watch that.
All
That'll
right.
give you what you're looking for.
All right, World's End. I'm writing it down. Okay. So then we watched a couple of Steve Martin movies this week.
I was wondering, like, yeah, the one you listed there, if I couldn't remember right.
Happy birthday, Steve Martin, by the way. Today's his birthday. So
does he share a birthday with Steven Eider?
Shares a birthday with Steven Eider, and he shares a birthday with the Who's Next, which is 49 years old today. And if you want to read about that, you can go check out my blog, buriedonmars.wordpress.com, where I did a write-up of that album.
Who do you share a birthday with?
My guys are Frank Sinatra and Bob Barker.
Oh,
yeah,
not bad. Pet spayed or neutered.
What about you?
Michael McKean, Eminem, and Mae Jemison.
Mage Emison.
She was an astronaut.
Okay. I don't know any smart people that were that I share a birthday with.
I remember that because I wrote a report on her in elementary school.
Fair enough. So the two Steve Martin movies I watched, one was what the hell? Pennies from Heaven, which really didn't do it for me. It was like this weird mixture of musical and comedy. I don't know if you ever remember that classic SNL skit where Steve Martin and Gilda Radner just danced around the SNL set for like a segment. They just dance. They do like a classic ballroom dance around the set. Well, that's what this movie was. It was all like, it takes place in the 30s and was all old timey music and that. And there's a rape and a murder in it, and it doesn't really mix well with the comedy. And I don't know. It had Bernadette Peters in it, who I really like too. So it was nothing against the actors or anything. It just seemed like a very odd movie. So I wanted to wash the taste of this movie out of my mouth the next day. So I watched a good Steve Martin movie, a movie I hadn't watched in a very long time. I used to have this on VHS and used to watch it all the time when I was a kid. And it's Roxanne. And that movie is based on an old French play. It was actually
Cyrano
weird.
de Bergerac.
Yeah, it was actually weird because one of the favorite, when I was watching Red Letter Media, one of their favorite episodes of The Next Generation was when Data was playing Cyrano de Bergerac, Burt Bacharach, or whatever heck his name is, in an episode of TNG, because there was a play thing and all that. Anyways, holds up. It's a really good movie. It's really funny.
He was a firefighter.
Yeah, and it's
been a very long time.
It's one of those movies that just has that little taste of Steve Martin humor. It's not like over the top like Man with Two Brains or The Jerk. It just has a flavor of his brand of comedy, and it's mostly a romantic comedy where he's the smart guy who falls in love with Daryl Hannah, who's smart as well. She's literally a rocket scientist, but he's got this big nose, and he's all self-conscious about the big nose, and you can't approach her and all that. Meanwhile, the good-looking guy, that's one she's attracted to. So he writes her love letters, and she thinks it's the good-looking guy, but it's actually Steve Martin. It's like a classic story. I'm pretty sure even every sitcom back in the day ripped off the storyline, but it's really well done. And really the funny parts are he is a fire chief, and his fire crew is a bunch of volunteers, and they're not very good at firefighting. So it'll be just Steve Martin sitting there writing one of his love letters, and you'll just see like one of the firemen through the window just flying around with like a hose as he's trying to figure out how to use a fire hose properly, and just silly stuff like that. So holds up. It's good times.
A little bit of Steve Martin romantic comedy reminds me of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah, that's another good one too.
That was Frank Oz.
Was it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Frank Oz, and who was in that with them? Michael Caine.
Yep.
Yep.
Good movie. I just love that part when they're all sitting at this big fancy dinner table, and he's like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And they said yes, and he's like, "Thanks." Good times. All right, that's it. Let's wrap this up. Follow Retro Fandango on Twitter at retro_Fandango, where you'll see a post for the audio version of this show, because that's what happens over there. Oh yeah, get a boner with Retro Fandango.
Boner. Where's that soundboard? Everybody's waiting.
It's here. It's right here. I actually, I hooked it up and stuff.
Okay, you physically have it. That's good.
Have it. But then I ran into a few issues. So without getting too technical, everything used to go into the mixer and then it would go to an external source, and that's how I would record the show. Now everything goes to the mixer and it goes back to the computer to record on this. And I got to figure out a way where I can play sound clips on here where you could hear it and I could hear it and everybody watching can hear it or listening can hear it. And I'm not at that stage yet. There we go. Discord. It's awesome. Go over there. Check it out. Having lots of fun discussions over there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's it. That's the show. Thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you, everyone, into the chat. And Bill,
a lot of people in the chat. Look at this. I got to scroll up for so long.
I know Bill complains. Bill complains about this time, but look at that, man. We had 5 to 6 people watching and chiming in and chatting. It's pretty good.
That is something.
That's something.
Although I'd say at least 90% of this is Steven.
Well, I mean, he's a super fan. What can I say?
Oh my goodness. This is just like his Twitter feed.
Bill says the good-looking guy from Pacific Blue. That might be right. It might be right. I didn't
what is Pacific Blue?
Oh, it was this terrible sort of Baywatch ripoff. They were cops on bikes, and it was a really cheap budget show.
Baywatch ripoff. What kind of quality would that be?
That was the 90s, baby. And the rinky-dink television stations that I worked for. I mean, I think it literally cost our station nothing to air that show. Like it was basically free. Like they could get it for next to nothing and run commercials during it so they could make a little bit of money. But it was it was cops on bikes. They were on the beach. It was called Pacific Blue. And it had Mario. Is it Mario Lopez? Is that his name? The guy from Saved by the Bell? Yeah. I think he was the lead guy. And they had this super hot redhead. Wow, she was something. I wish the internet was up to speed when that show was on. Anyways, again, this is after we end the broadcast talk. So I guess we should do that now. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.